doghouse, will the strong survive? We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just the cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're ready for you. Locked and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Locked and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. No running, no bluffing, no running. No running, no running, no running. We don't back down, we stand our ground. In the doghouse where the real are found. No chains, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just the cold hard truth. We're the ones who fight, and we're ready for you. When the truth's our ammo, we're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Lock and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse, where the real are found. No chains, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse, where the real are found. No chains, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. Where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just the cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're waiting for you. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just the cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're ready for you. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just the cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're ready for you. Locked and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Locked and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing, we're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. No running, no bluffing, no running. No running, no running, no running. We don't back down.
What's going on, everybody? It is the Doghouse Show. Let's go. We are excited. This is going to be an exciting stream. I hope you guys are ready to go. We just had an awesome TikTok live. I super apologize for coming in like an hour late. We had an awesome TikTok stream. We were streaming for probably a solid like 2.5 hours. Oof. So that's like where you can find, if you like a lot of my debate stuff and you want to try to like see me debate people, that's a really great platform to go to. Highly recommend it. And now we are going to jump into our stream. So one of the things we're going to be covering today is we're going to go through, I told you guys we would finish, and we're going to finish that today. We're going to walk through a little bit more of these nominations. I'm super excited about this. Go through and look at these. I need to write down these notes a little bit more. Go ahead and do that. But I hope you guys are excited too, man. It's an awesome Thursday. We're going to be doing this more often. Like I told you guys, we are in full-time streamer mode. Okay, it's pretty exciting. All right, got my notes ready to go. So we're going to jump straight into this. Let me try to find that graphic I had that I can't seem to find. Let's see, Trump cabinet picks. See if I can find it. Oh, let's see. Where are you at? Probably should have saved it last time, huh? There's been a few interesting developments this morning. We'll get into those as well. Trying to find my graphic I had. Here we go. All right. So we were right about to get into the interesting ones. We were at, let me pull this up real quick for you guys. Must still be in streamer mode or something. Yeah. There we go. All right. So we were talking about these cabinet picks, and let's open this image in a new tab. Here we go. So we stopped on, let's see, where are we at here? William McGinley. We were talking about him and John Ratcliffe. So we got through John Ratcliffe, and we have Elon Musk. Elon Musk is going to be really interesting. We're going to talk about this character here. Most of you guys know about it. The thing is that the Department of Government Efficiency isn't an actual like department. And I still think it's pretty funny that they're going to have these two guys here. I honestly don't know if it's really worth much going into these guys and seeing what about them. I know Vivek has had some interesting takes on the Lex Friedman podcast. Not a super huge fan. He's kind of done really like these big grand like points. He hasn't really actually tried to provide any substance as to what he's going to do. There was the infamous Social Security number thing, and even then I think it was really dumb. But let's go ahead and look into our next contestant, Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intel. Tulsi Gabbard, as far as we know, is not going to be facing the FBI background checks. So let's go ahead and look at her qualifications that would make her qualified for the Director of National Intelligence. Let's look up Tulsi Gabbard. And of course, there's some takes that she has. But my main thing I'm looking at right now is, do I think that her background fits this position? Her takes are probably not the greatest, but we'll look and see if she fits what we think is good. So what I want to do is I want to start off where we were at before, is the Director of National Intelligence. I want to look at the previous precedent that was set and seeing if she falls in line with that or if she kind of steps outside of that. So right now, the current Director of National Intelligence is Avril Haines. She's a senior let's see, acquired by Intelligence Reform and Terrorism Prevention Act of 2004 to serve as executive head of the United States intelligence community and to direct and oversee the National Intelligence Program, NIP. Okay, let's go to her. Okay, so this just shows the director. I want to see more about her. Okay, so we've seen a lot of this from a lot of our cabinet members. A lot of the cabinet members from past have been American lawyers. And it looks like this case, Avril is another American lawyer. serving as the director of national intelligence in the Biden administration. She's the first woman to serve in this role. Hey, before we get into all these characters, I want to cover something about this Pete Hegseth report. So Pete Hegseth, for anyone who's unaware, let's pull this up real quick. I don't know how much of this I can really cover on stream, so I'm gonna be very careful. We got the full report from the Pete Hegseth report, and it's pretty concerning. Basically, what happened is allegedly this woman met him at a Republican conference, and at that Republican conference, they got some drinks. And after the drinks, she blacked out and she came to, and she was in his room. And there were some things that took place. He ended up trying to block the door. She ended up not knowing what was happening. She ended up going back home, taking a shower. And it was in the middle of her having intercourse, I guess is the best way to put it. Ended up finding out that started having memories back to that night, and ended up getting a test done at the hospital, and the hospital, being what they are, ended up doing the test, and they had to report it to the police officer. So it's important to note that she herself did not actually report this. It was a nurse who reported this. So it's pretty interesting to note on that. It was not that she came to. Now, she did work with law enforcement. She did provide them with certain evidence that had not been washed since. But just another example. This is just another example of Trump's cabinet picks being not only, unqualified because of, their education or their background, but just showing that they're unqualified, ethically speaking. There's a lot of ethical issues with these Trump cabinet picks. But anyways, let's look into Tulsi Gabbard and her background. So the current national intelligence director of national intelligence is an American lawyer. Let's see what her education is. In 1992, Haynes moved to Baltimore and enrolled as a doctoral student in physics at Johns Hopkins University. She dropped out and with her future husband purchased a bar in Fells Point, Baltimore, which had been seized in a drug raid. Okay. What? This is our current director of national intelligence. She dropped out and with her future husband purchased a bar in Baltimore, which had been seized in a drug raid. Okay. I did not know that. This is what's always interesting when you get into the background of some of these characters. You're like, what was that? They turned the location to an independent bookstore and cafe. She named the store Adrian's Book Cafe after her late mother. Adrian's hosted a number of literary readings, including including these readings. When she was appointed by President Barack Obama to be the deputy director of CIA. Okay. Interesting. This is such an odd paragraph. I just want to say this can't be real. This seems like such an odd this to me feels like somebody in MAGA wrote this. Like, hosted a number of literary readings, including readings. She became a media focus when she was appointed by president. So weird. She enrolled at Georgia in 1998. She enrolled at the Georgetown University Law Center, receiving her JD in 2001. Haynes became a legal officer at the Hague Conference on Private International Law. Until the time, she became a law clerk for the United States Court of Appeals on the Sixth Circuit. From 2003 until 2006, she worked in the office of the legal advisor of the Department of State. First in the office, where is it? Let's see. So she worked. My mic stand's falling. Oh no! My mic stand is falling, y'all. I'm falling away. Oh man. Okay, why is this not shutting? My mic stand's breaking, y'all. Okay. There we go. I don't know how that happened, but it did. Okay. There we go. So the mic stand dropped, and we're good now. I think. I hope. All right. So basically, she's a lawyer. Obama's administration. Haynes worked at the State Department as the assistant legal advisor for treaty affairs from 2008 to 2010 when she was appointed to serve. So she worked for the State Department. Oh, right here. From 2007 to 2008, she worked for the United States Senate Committee on Foreign Relations as deputy chief counsel for the majority Senate Democrats. So she was on some foreign relations. That works. And on the Senate. Haynes worked for the State Department as the assistant legal advisor for treaty affairs from 2008 to 2010 when she was appointed to serve in the office of the White House counsel as deputy assistant to the president and deputy counsel to the president for national. Here's where this matters. So she may have been a deputy, or may have worked as a lawyer for most of this part. It looks like here she was a deputy assistant to the president and deputy counsel to the president for national security affairs at the White House. So she has some national security background. So that's interesting. But here's what I'm going to do, guys. I am going. No, it isn't. What you talking about, Freems? Coming in here, talking about stuff. Huh? Homie took away my VIP badge. You hate to see it? Bro, I'll give you your VIP badge. You know what? You keep it up. I ain't gonna give you nothing. Keep it up, Frames. Our old beef still stands. You don't have to. No, I'm gonna get you the VIP badge. I need to work on trying to get some mods for my TikTok stream. Some of them, I don't have any mods on my TikTok streams, and it was really wild. But I'm gonna work on doing that. We're just gonna go through Twitter for a little bit. I was trying to go through some of these appointees, and Tulsi Gabbard. I'll just give y'all some of my intro takes on these. Go ahead and drop that in there. There we go. Okay. You're not getting me on TikTok. Look, Wes, I would love for you to come onto TikTok, okay? You can fix it. No, you can't. What's up, Miss April Dawn? Hello, and I want my TikTok bunch of weirdos over there. Hey. Are you calling me a weirdo, Miss April? I know you're not calling me a weirdo. Sorry, I'll forgive you for now. Wow, Miss April. Hey, it was an awesome stream. A lot of my debate content really goes on over there. And I was a little rusty. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little rusty. I had to work on my chops a little bit, you know? But we were talking about, so one of the things we were talking about over there, and it was really interesting to me, is the mass deportations. The mass deportations topic was really revealing. Something that scared me a little bit was the willingness from some of the MAGA supporters to just blatantly say that they are okay with deporting grandma and grandpa and father and mother, but leaving the DACA recipients. So it's very concerning to me how willingly. Now, there are some that will come in and they'll say, hey, look, I don't think we should do that. I think that's inhumane. And I would say, look, I would agree. I think, if you're asking, and this has been the biggest issue from a lot of leftists, is look, if you want to deport, the criminals and the gangs and things like that, go for it. Totally for it, right? But what I'm seeing is, and what we know of, is that Donald Trump and Tom Homan and Stephen Miller want to get rid of anybody who crossed the border illegally. And that to me is kind of concerning, right? Not kind of, it is. And a lot of these people will go along with it. I'm only okay with deporting any that commit crimes as long as they're good citizens. Let them stay, including grandma and grandpa. Well, that's the problem, Miss April. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up from Tom Homan and we can watch this ourselves. I don't want y'all to take my word for it. Take Tom Homan's word for it. Let's pull this up. I want to show you guys this. Let's see. Okay, so here we go. Let's watch this. This is insane to me, man. This is insane. Move this over here. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. No, I can't hear it. Let me. Why is my audio scuffed? Let's try that.
There's over 1 million.
There we go.
Illegal.
All right, there we go. All right, let's play this one more time.
If you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table. I mean, we've been looking for fugitives. There's over 1 million illegal aliens in this country who got due process at great taxpayer expense, were ordered removed by a judge, and failed to leave. So they're also a priority. But yeah, I mean, we'll be moving on to those who may not be a criminal, may not be a fugitive, but they enter this country illegally, which is a crime, and they're here illegally, and they are not off the table. I want to be clear on that.
Yeah.
But if you're in the
So you heard it from Tom Homan, who is now, for anyone unaware, Tom Homan sits right here. There's our border czar, guys. And there's some other ones too. Let's see what other ones we got from Tom Homan. Some little clips we've got. Let's see. Look at this one right here. But all they really here illegally, and if we gave them papers and let them cross, you might have to say that again. Yeah, I think what you're saying, Miss April, is whether or not they're like, if we give them papers here, are they really? Oh, I see. Are they? Okay. If we gave them papers to come, are they really here illegally? And I would say that that's probably what they're probably referring to. Look at this. This is another one. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Gave them permission by how, right? For example, if you overstayed your visa, probably going to fit in that bucket. I'm trying to find the birthright citizenship one that he referred to, but this is another video here of Tom Homan, our border czar.
Are you planning on deporting American citizens?
No, exactly not. Look, the view, it's like the island of misfit toys. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. President Trump has made it clear. We will prioritize public safety threats and national security threats first. And that's what the focus will be. And there's over 1.5 convicted criminal aliens in this.
Keep in mind, he said first. He didn't say they wouldn't. He said they're going to focus on those people first.
Country with final orders removal that we're going to be looking for. There's thousands of gang members, illegal alien gang members we're going to be looking for. Now, I'm going to say, if you're in the country illegally, you shouldn't feel comfortable. Absolutely not. I won't feel comfortable if I'm in the country illegally. If I'm in some other country illegally, I'm not going to be comfortable. You shouldn't be comfortable either, because when you enter this country illegally, you have committed a crime. You are a criminal, and you're not off the table.
You heard it there. You crossed illegally. You're a criminal. That's crazy. And I mean, most people who are here illegally just have expired papers. It's not that they weren't allowed to be here, it's just that they overstayed. Exactly. And this is the problem, right, Wes, which is, look, they came here and due to our government's inefficiencies, because of the way that Republicans and Democrats can't seem to come together to fund these particular processes, they are now having overstayed their visas and everything else. So pretty devastating on that end. And we're, for one reason or another, unable to get renewals or citizenships in that time. It's a problem with our path to citizenship as much as anything. 100%. Right? It's a problem with our pathways. And unfortunately, the way that Donald Trump wants to go about it is deporting everybody. And those that bypass the border control offices and snuck in. Gaetz withdrew his AG pick. Wait. Did Gaetz withdraw his... Wait. Y'all are lying to me. Don't lie to me now. Don't get me all excited. Wow. Gaetz withdrew his nomination shortly after CNN reached out about our new reporting that House Ethics Committees was told of a second. Oh, snap. Wow. coward. What a coward. What a coward. What a coward. He's such a coward. Release the report now. Release it. Let it go.
Matt Gaetz, you reached out to him for comment, and just before you were about to move forward with the story you were going to air with, you got this response from Gaetz announcing that he was withdrawing.
That's exactly right. We firmed up our reporting earlier today. I reached out to his team around 11:30 this morning. We made it clear that we would go with this news story at 12:30, and we offered them the opportunity to weigh in. And instead of getting a response or a comment, just about a minute before we were about to go live on CNN, he notified the world that he is withdrawing from consideration as Attorney General. And this news story is that the Ethics Committee.
Oh my gosh. He really is a villain. Oh my gosh. He did that. That is hilarious. As an attorney general, he took that. Oh my gosh. They didn't really support because he resigned, not because he was AG pick. He's not going to go away. No, this is wild to me, right? Like, you know what this screams to me? This is one of two things that happened, okay? I think that Matt Gaetz, this is what I think happened. One of two situations happened, or three. One is that these allegations were probably credible, which he was like trying to get the heat off of him as fast as possible. The other one is that he was told by the Trump campaign, "Hey, bro, we're not going to let you go, but you need to go." And Donald Trump has that sway. Donald Trump has that sway where he could sit there and tell him, like, "Look, you need to step down." That's one possibility. The other one is that he's trying to, flat out bury the story, which is not going to work. He just couldn't rally enough votes within the Senate. I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think this has everything to do with the fact that the House Ethics Committee was about to release that report. Trump gave him a chance and he couldn't do it. Yeah, but Trump said that he was going to push him through regardless. So that's why I said I'm not sure Gaetz can win a senatorial race. He's pretty much, his political career is over at this point. That's insane. Well, and keep in mind too, guys, what would end up happening. Here's why I think also another reason why Matt Gaetz ended up leaving. Think about this. If he were to go and get nominated, he would have to sit in front of the Senate for a confirmation hearing. And he would absolutely get grilled on all of these details. So I think he did this more to save face, but I definitely think there was some pressure from the Trump campaign. Definitely think that. I mean, he resigns from Congress right before the report drops, then he withdraws from AG right before the report drops. I think he just really doesn't want anyone to see that report. 110%, Wes. I live in Florida. He gets clowned on hard. That's super anecdotal, but I'd be surprised if he ran and won. Yeah, I mean, he probably wouldn't, but it's just amazing to me to see this unfold. Wow. And I'm missing all of this too. That's crazy, man. So it looks like this is reporting 3 minutes ago. Go to solo web source. At least 5 Senate Republicans, McConnell, Murkowski, Collins, Mullen, and Senate-elect Curtis, were a no on Gaetz and had communicated to others that they were unlikely going to be swayed. As many as 30 were very uncomfortable about having to vote for Gaetz. As many as 30. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. His political campaign just went down the drain, man. Down the drain. This is crazy. So that's interesting. But I still want to get back to the topic. Well, I guess this is kind of important. So yeah, they were going to release a report and he dropped. That's nuts. What other news is there? Okay, can we just acknowledge this is kind of funny to me? Why would you do this? This right here is weird to me. This is what I don't like about our mainstream media. Okay. Gaetz withdrew from AG nomination 45 minutes after we called to say we were going to report that ethics committee told there was a second encounter between Gaetz and 17-year-old. Why would you release this? What's up, Folger? Who are the people you're talking about even? I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so we're talking about Matt Gaetz. So anybody who's unaware, Matt Gaetz has withdrawn. He is no longer... Where is it? They're already dropping here. We got where is Matt Gaetz? Matty Gaetz right here. Boom, boom. He is no longer the Attorney General pick. He has withdrawn. This was after a second allegation was alleged, and CNN reported that they were going to do this. So, yeah. Right, Wes. Right. No, I make sure to keep my stuff clean. Typical leftist. Yeah, so Matt Gaetz dropped, and this is wild to me. I still think that the media should have dropped this way before. Like, they shouldn't have told him. This is the thing that kind of bothers me is, like, why would you alert him to say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and drop this report, right? So I don't like that at all. What's Blue Sky saying? Blue Sky, for anybody who's unaware, is a haven for leftists. Okay, don't come into our spaces. Breaking: Donald Trump names Ghislaine Maxwell head of Child Protective Services. That was a good one. That's a good one. I'm actually going to repost that. Actually, I'll repost it. I'm very conservative when it comes to like reposting things. Yeah, and what was funny is Marjorie Taylor Greene and Nancy Mace were trying to run cover for Matt Gaetz by doing the by doing some smokescreen stuff with Susan. I think it's like Sarah McBride, I think is her name. She's a trans Congress member. Kash Patel coming in hot. Wait, did Kash Patel hot off the press? Is that it? Is that the case? Kash Patel? Better not be. We reported the heavy skepticism from Senate Republicans. They should still release the report. They need, yeah. No, just my prediction. Yeah. What was Kash Patel going after again? I forgot. I'm counting on Kenny Clips to get his hands on that report. Yeah. Well, like, good luck. Last time he tried doing that, he ended up getting kicked off Twitter. It's kind of funny. Let's go on a Blue Sky real quick. I know there's Dr. Oz there. FBI director. Yeah, that would be terrible. Hey, pups. A pup's like laying down right next to me. I don't know about Kash Patel being the FBI director. I remember looking into some of his background. Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky. Freems. Who isn't? Hey, Freems. I've gone so far left. I've been revoked from my Republican card. I'm no longer a card-carrying Republican. The Grand Old Party doesn't want me. Although, what is the Grand Old Party anymore, right? The Grand Old Party doesn't exist. Yeah, add me, buddy. Hey, if you're not following me on Blue Sky, are you really a Doghouse Show fan? Come on now. Look at this. I got 363 followers. I know I could do better than that. Let's see. Some other stuff. I'll show you guys I was trying to get some tweets out there, you know what I mean? Trying to get some tweets. This guy's deplorable. What the heck? I hate when Jack does that. I've had my fair spout with Jack Pasavic, by the way. Okay, Frames. I don't know if you knew this, but just to clout chase a little bit, Jack Posobiec retweeted out one of my tweets, and it was pretty crazy. It was a pretty crazy day when that happened because my Twitter was filled with MAGA. It was like I felt like I stuck my foot into an anthill and they were biting the crap out of my ankle. It's pretty wild. Cat Turd doing what Cat Turd does. Claiming that anybody had 100,000 likes on a tweet. Oh, it went viral on Twitter. Yeah. Dude, this one went nuts. I think I had the most. Oh, yeah. Y'all can see my live stream Inception right now. Okay. Let me try to show you. I'm not going to show you guys my analytics. Okay. Those are sacred analytics. Okay. I don't want y'all to see my analytics. It's pretty bad. Let me see if I can show you my biggest one I did. I think the largest tweet I did was 400. Nah, I don't know. Let me see. Let's see. Likes. Oop, there we go. Oh, you got me beat, bro. Frames, you got me beat. We need more pie charts. The biggest tweet I've ever gotten was 6,000 likes, and this is the only way to handle Republicans is to call them out on their lies. Oh wait, this is 7 days. This is 7 days. I knew something was off. I'm like, that don't sound right. Let's go back a little bit. We're going to 3 months. I'm pulling it out to 3 months. I was like, 6,000 seems off. There we go. A little bit better. Oh, is that it? Nah, that can't be it. Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm way off. Oh, it only go to the 23rd. Lame. Okay. You still got me beat, Freems. Still got me beat. And it went wrong. I broke it. Anyways, it was like 6,000 likes. I think the largest impression I had was like 400,000 impressions or something like that. Nothing crazy. My tweet was basically saying that people, I remember you going viral for that. So let's go back into Tom Homan. Tom Homan, back to deportation, because this is what everybody wants to talk about. I want to show you guys our borders are and some of the wild takes about his birthright citizenship thing. Let's go back over here. Here's another take from Tom Homan about birthright citizenship. This is a little bit older, but still a good sense on that. Watch this.
Let's talk about something else. The president the other day suggested they're looking at seriously ending birthright citizenship. First of all, what guarantee?
Oh, Frames, that was before. Frames said, got a lot of love, but the little amount of hate was louder. I did ratio shoe on head during it, so that was fun. Well, the funny thing about that is that was pre like Elon days, right? I believe. And so imagine my replies, okay?
He's birthright citizenship.
Look, I think, my personal opinion, I think when the framers of the Constitution did not mean for birthright citizenship for those.
And further, Frames, I went viral in that regard during an election season. An election season post Elon, okay? For an entire day, I'm sitting there going, I'm going to need more whiskey than this.
Those who are in the country illegally. Right. I don't think they want to reward illegal behavior. I've been in this.
Yo, Freems, you should see the look on my my family's face when I'm like, yeah, y'all want to see some of my comments? And I show them my comments and they're like, oh my. They're like, that sounds bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm used to it.
This business for 3 decades. And I tell you, one of the first things a lot of these illegal aliens do when they get here is to have a U.S. citizen child, because they can get benefits, food stamps,
And that kid's an American citizen.
Yes. And they think it will help them stay in the United States. And look what's happened just the last 2 years. We have people saying, why is ICE arresting somebody that has
And remember, Trump went after DACA prior, so this is nothing new. And keep in mind, Tom Homan was one of the key architects of separation of families. Probably not quite as far as left as I was, so I imagine, and you're roughly in the same. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same spot. Okay, MAGA is absolutely upset that I ended up leaving the right, which is funny. Let's see. This man is just bragging. I mean, look at this. Announced Tom Homan borders are in a recent interview with 60 Minutes. Said that recent interview with 60 Minutes, the former ICE director said that he supports deporting kids who are born in dollars. Look at this. This is what I'm saying, guys. I'm not trying to paint like a gloomy picture for you guys, but listen to this.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
We
Right there. Families can be deported together. This is what we got to look forward to for the next 4 years, boys. 4 years of this mess. Great, ain't it? So we got that going on. I did not get indoctrinated, Talon. Well, the problem, no, okay, Miss April. This is insane. Like for me, like I actually got a little irritated on my. Hey, guy, I didn't get indoctrinated. What irritates me is like when I was doing my TikTok live, I ended up raging a little bit, and one of the things that bothered me is this is extremely inhumane on a lot of levels. First of all, if someone is here illegally, oh, take everything as is, sarcasm. Gotcha. Yeah, I was raging a little bit. Oh, I see. You're saying like throw them all out. Yeah, I got you. This is the issue I have. Is how to what extent do you do these mass deportations? And I have asked a lot of people, and I go, "What do y'all want to do? How do y'all want to do this?" And they're like, "Well, we don't know. Well, we're not the president." Okay, let me paint a picture of how this could go. Could, may not. It may not. Imagine an ICE officer showing up at your door, knocking, being generous, assuming they're going to be generous, knock at your door with a warrant for your arrest, arrest you, takes you to a camp, and at that camp, they load you onto either a bus or a plane and send you off to a country that you have never known for several years or decades. Essentially, Miss April, I actually made that comment a little bit. I said that, it's funny because, not funny, it's actually terrible. Donald Trump built a wall, and there was a lot of memes about that, right? About the Trebuchet meme. That's exactly what they're going to do. And I asked these people, I said, well, what happens when that country does not want those people in their, what happens to those people when the government goes, or it could be a European country, when that country's government goes, hey, can we drop them off here? And that government goes, no. What are you going to do then? You're going to keep them housed at these camps? It feels an awful lot like the 1940s right now is calling. And it's sad. It really is. So, yeah. That's what we have to look forward to. Now, let's look at what Stephen Miller had to say, guys. Let's look at some Stephen Miller clips on deportation. And warning, it's a little crazier. Here's the deputy. Here you go.
212F.
Here's what Stephen Miller's architect is for this.
That's the travel ban authority. We did a few of those in the Trump administration. You would bring those back and add new ones on top of that. You would establish large-scale staging grounds for removal flights. So you grab illegal immigrants and then you move them to the staging grounds, and that's where the planes are waiting for federal law enforcement to then move those illegals home. You deputize the National Guard to carry out immigration enforcement, and then you also deploy the military to the southern border, not just with a mission.
What's up, Dr. J?
But with an impedance and denial mission. In other words, you reassert the fundamental constitutional principle.
Nope, made the right choice, co-partner. Comrade Everclear, why do you think you made the right choice? Tell me why. Because right now, what we're watching right here shows that you made the wrong choice. Hold on, I gotta let my pup out. Oof. Build the wall. Well, Melissa, you're going to need It looks like they're going to be doing a lot more than building the wall. It looks like they're going to be doing some pretty gnarly stuff as well, like mass deportations that are just antithetical to what America was founded on. But go ahead. Continue to believe that. Social Security and Medicare are going to get defunded. Yeah, that's great. That was, take Trump's base and just like take away their benefits. That'll work real well. Let me know how that goes in 2026 and 2028. It's going to go real well for that. Anyways.
That you don't have a right to enter into our sovereign territory, to even request the asylum claim. The military has the right to establish a fortress.
So anyone who
position on the border and to say no one can cross here at all.
Yeah, Corinda, they right now private prisons are about to make a ton of money, and they're already working in conjunction with some of the private prisons to facilitate these things. They're going to start with criminals. People don't have to worry about knocks on door. You may believe that, Blizza, but here's the thing. How do you believe they define a criminal? We've already watched. I've already shown you, and I'll show you again how they define a criminal. Matter of fact, here, I'll even show you, since we're on the topic of Stephen Miller, I'll show you what Stephen Miller shows. This is the problem that a lot of MAGA doesn't understand, is that they will, where is it? Oh, where is it? So, Melissa, my husband is a Navy F-18 pilot from Venezuela. We came here legally. He's the first generation born here, and he agrees. They have to go. We can't afford to support them. Okay. That's very interesting to me that your husband is from Venezuela and he would advocate for getting rid of every single person. Again, I go back to, and this is what really upsets me about the direction that MAGA is going, is that they're literally showing the Hillary Clinton deplorable meme by suggesting to, what about what if you have a child here? Yo, what's up, Gonzo? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. What do you do when you have a mother and a father who are still illegal, but their child is a DACA recipient? Do you deport the mother and the father and leave the child here? So exactly. Texas just told Trump they have 1,000 acres of land to use for free aside from simple legal entry. I'm saying there are also criminals, but they aren't going to start here. They are going to start there. Don't get it twisted. If they can get that Alien Invasion Act working, they will absolutely go that route. And the fact that we're putting down 1,000 acres of land to use for this is pretty deplorable. Whole family gets separated by all. Okay, that's great. I think that's inhumane. I also think that's against the Constitution as well. There's no due process there just to go and start deporting these people. It's their option. What do you mean it's their option? Go to Stephen Miller. Or I'll show you guys what Tom Homan believes. Gentleman's wager? What do you mean? Let's see. Let's see. And also keep in mind, if we were to even take, now we can go down the rabbit hole of talking about, like, if you were born here or if you came over here illegally, what crimes are we talking about? Are we talking about somebody who got a misdemeanor? Are we talking about somebody who got a traffic infraction? Are we talking about somebody who got a DUI? Which criminals are we talking about? And 9 times out of 10, I've seen people even advocate for stop and frisk, where if somebody ends up simply getting pulled over for a traffic infraction, that they can then get deported over that, which was pretty silly to me. It happened last Trump term. Immigrants will work in farms for free, basically. Well, that's pretty damn deplorable there, ain't it, Corinda? I think you're on my side from what I can tell. But yeah, it's pretty deplorable. I bet you they start with violent criminals in jails and with paperwork before simple. I disagree. If you look at these, let's see. I'll show you some of these things from Tom Homan. Well, and that's funny too, because, you know, right here, this is from the leading report. I don't know where they got this quote from, but he stated, if you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table. We'll be moving on to those who may not be a criminal, may not be a fugitive, but they enter this country illegally, which is a crime. So there you go. Like Jose Ibarra, however you spell it, send that. It's April. I think the people who came here for the right reasons, just to make a better life for themselves, I have no problem with them staying. It's the criminals that got to go, and sadly enough, there's a lot. Well, sure, but the problem is again, I go back to Melissa. If you look at what I just read out, Tom Homan, who's the border czar, just said, if you're in the country illegally, you're not off the table. We'll be moving on to those who may not be a criminal, may not be a fugitive, but they enter this country illegally, which is a crime. So they're going after everybody, not just the criminals. Billionaires become wealthy. Trump will get millions from the billionaires. Yeah, if you look at the FCC chairman right here, if you look at this FCC chair, Brendan Carr, he actually advocated in Project 2025 for Starlink. So the biggest one who's going to benefit from that, this guy right here. Bro, if a U.S. citizen is drunk driving with this kid in the car, he would be separated from his family. Don't be a criminal and you'll be fine. Don't be a criminal and you'll be fine. But again, I go back to the way that they're defining these people is anybody's a criminal who crosses the border. So when you say criminal, you have to be very specific. In a DUI, you're adding that qualifier that the child is in the car, in which case I would probably agree that's a pretty abhorrent offense. Is it deemable to be deported? Don't know, because then you have to ask the question, what about the child? Does the child get deported as well? How long has the mother been in the U.S.? There's a lot of those questions that you should ask, but the Trump administration is not asking. 10 subs or a video saying you're wrong. What are you talking about, bro? Talking about Blizza. What's up, Galadez? Welcome in. Anyone who crosses the border without following procedure. You think those people are the criminals that should be deported? This is why I said every time I talk to y'all MAGA, y'all sit there and just show the deplorableness here. I mean, it's pretty gross. What's yo, KOE Nation? Yo, you follow me? I didn't know you. How have you not been following me, KOE? How have you not been following me? That is insane. I thought you would have already followed me by now. That's crazy. Protesters will be in prison along with immigrants. Oh, so protesters too. What about the people that are housing these undocumented citizens? No, what you said was anyone across the border. Yes, because that is what Tom Homan believes. I don't have to tell you. That's exactly what the administration is saying. That was funny too. Yeah, I don't know. Might have had a spat and we might have ended up separating a little bit. They cross illegally, then yeah, it's a crime too. Cross over the right way, and you won't have to worry about deportation. Oh, okay. So you're just going the full rounding them up kind of style. That's cool. Ryukyu style gaming. How is it gross when these people don't belong in this country when they didn't follow the rules to come here? Okay, so I'm glad to know, Ryuku, that you want to get rid of a person who has probably done put part of their paycheck to taxes to help with their immigration claims. People who are maybe fleeing for asylum reasons or whatever, and may have been able to do so under a certain presidency, but not another. So how did they pay taxes? They pay taxes through filing taxes. The government will not, they can do that. That's in fact what a lot of immigrants will do because they think it helps them with their citizenship claims. How are they paying taxes? I believe you can get an taxpayer ID number if you're illegal. Let me pull this up again. Let's see. Because I looked this up before. They pay taxes. Legal. And in fact, they come out of their paychecks too in some instances as well. Depends. Legal. You can get an I-10 is what it's called. I-10, individual taxpayer identification number for undocumented citizens. An I-10 is a 9-digit issued by the Internal Revenue Service to enable individuals who do not have Social Security numbers to file and pay taxes through the IRS. Though the IRS issues I-10s for the sole purpose of enabling people without a Social Security number to file file and pay taxes. An I-10 can be used for various additional purposes, including pursuing career opportunities through independent contracting, freelancing, and starting a business. Let's see. So an undocumented individual will need a SSN or I-10 to do business and pay taxes as an independent contractor, freelancer, or business owner. So they still pay taxes in some cases. Maybe not all of them, but what I've read is that they do because it helps with their claims. It's sad, but everybody knows that Democrats wanted. No, they don't. Turn to their real country now. Come over as a legal immigrant, asylum seeker. Then, if that's the case, well, the way that their asylum gets processed is by a court hearing. A judge has to hear them and see if their claim is valid. Unless you want like people at the border patrol to determine that, and certainly I guess something you could do. But again, I don't think that the answer is to necessarily just straight up deport them. Now, I will say Joe Biden ended up doing something where it was like after 5,000 asylum claims or something like that. I forgot what the executive order was. Let me see here. I'm not going to look it up. Joe Biden did something for like 5,000 people, and it would cap it, and you wouldn't be able to do asylum claims anymore after that, which is probably not so great either. They also have income tax like the rest of us, as long as they aren't paid under the table, which is rarer and rarer. Exactly. Identity fraud is a crime. Working without citizenship is a crime. Don't know if that's true. Makes an unlawful foreign person or other entity to hire, recruit, or refer for a fee or employment an alien knowing this is how they get around this, is because it says right here. Knowing the alien is an unauthorized alien as defined in subsection 132A H3, doesn't really go into detail of that. Makes it unlawful for any person or entity after hiring an alien or an employment to continue to employ the alien in the United States, knowing the alien is or has become an unauthorized alien with respect to. So this is basically like visa overstay. So yeah, probably not great. But again, they have to know the alien is an unauthorized alien, which that could be done probably through like asking for the social security number or something like that. Yeah. Doesn't mean they do. What about all this money they got from our taxpayer dollars, like the $15K they got, but yet our veterans and people on the streets get no help, but yet we can give them veterans. I believe veterans can get quite a bit of help from different federal programs. In fact, I know education wise, they get quite a bit from that. If you served. Education is a huge one. In fact, healthcare as well, I believe, is a huge one as well for veterans. Now, you could say the quality is not great, and that's fine, but they certainly get those benefits as well. Man, y'all are writing some paragraphs today. I love it. Wes, you also have to be in the country to claim asylum, so even some people who don't cross the designated ports are still being completely lawful as long as the first thing to do is claim asylum. Exactly. They have to cross the border in order to claim asylum. That's what I'm saying, is like previous policies made it this way. We shouldn't punish those who came through here by the way of the previous policy. But that's exactly what Donald Trump is trying to do. All right, so they take advantage of a system used for people like the Amish and certain religions, and they pay taxes that way. Now, can we do a meet in the middle? If they can prove they pay taxes, that they can fill out all the paperwork they should have filed when they came into the country, when coming into the country. Wait, all right, so they take advantage of a system used for people like the Amish and certain religions, and they pay taxes that way. Now, can we do a meet in the middle? If they can prove they pay taxes, then they can fill out all the paperwork they should have filed when they came in the country, when they come to the country. Again, I'm not disagreeing that we should totally have some kind of a immigration reform. That's not my argument. This is the problem, is that a lot of people from the right are going to come in here and say, oh, you believe in open borders. No, I don't believe in open borders. This is the problem. It's not an all or nothing. And this is the problem with Donald Trump that I have, is that he sees it as an all or nothing. Okay? It's not that way. We should totally reform our immigration system. I think that's a great way. Sure. If they prove that they pay taxes and things like that, yeah. Paying taxes should be absolutely considered for citizenship. If they've shown that they've contributed to their community, shown that they've contributed to their country via taxes, sure. Why not? I don't see the problem with that. And assuming they're not a criminal or anything like that, like an actual, what I would call a criminal, not somebody crossing the border criminal. And if they don't file the paperwork, then we can deport them. If they don't, now that part I don't agree with necessarily. But I guess that's a maybe. I don't know if I would say necessarily deport them on the first run. If they don't fill it out, I would obviously try to follow up with them and stuff like that. It'd be nice to help fund our veterans, but there are a lot of homeless veterans. Yeah, sure. And there should definitely be programs for those. And I think in a lot of states, they try to cover that as much as possible. I think veterans are kind of also a big voting base that they try to appeal to. Usually undocumented workers are committing fraud on their paperwork. It's possible, but very rare to file the correct paperwork when undocumented. Yeah. Economic asylum doesn't exist. I think it does, doesn't it? I think economic asylum does exist. Let me look it up. Let's look it up. We got the computer at our tips. This turned into an immigration thing, and that's okay. I've been arguing immigration all day today. There's no such thing. Okay, so there's no such thing as economic asylum. People leave their country to seek better economic opportunities are called economic migrants, and they are not eligible for asylum. Economic migrants are different from refugees and asylum seekers who leave their countries due to prosecution or violence. So it doesn't say. So yeah, you're probably right on that, Melissa. I'm not saying that. I'm just trying to find out where we are so we can move our way forward. Yeah, I mean, the way we should move forward is funding our border. Funding our border is how we fix things. Funding the technology at the border, funding border patrol, funding judges, getting more judges in there, things of that nature. That's how we do these things. Make our processes better. Don't just do mass deportations. I think that's absurd. Let's see. I believe in, okay. You believe in open borders and closed citizenship. Talon, you're going to have to explain a little bit more. I think I see what you're saying. Is in other words, just like have everybody come in and but they're not allowed to get citizenship, which is an interesting concept. It sounds interesting. Talking about the voters that are living on the street. Look at the one, veterans. The voters on you're probably saying veterans that are living on the street. Look at the ones who are Vietnam vets and World War II vets. Some are broke and don't get any help. You do believe in open borders because all these illegals you don't believe should get deported. No, I don't believe somebody who's here illegally who filed an asylum claim and is pending that asylum case should be get deported. No, I don't think it should. You're describing the green card policy that we already have? Sure. I'm not opposed to the green card policy, I guess. Both sides believe we need immigration reform. It's just that the right's idea of reform is shutting down the border and deporting people. Liberals think we should actually fix the system with a better path to citizenship, better support for visa holders together. Exactly, Wes. Exactly. This is the problem I have. Is that MAGA right now is so obsessed with trying to deport people, trying to be inhumane, that they're sitting there and just saying, nope, I don't care. They crossed the border. I don't care if they're pending an asylum claim. I don't care that they're a DACA recipient. Deport them all. And you know what? That's terrible. If you believe that, I have no business with you. And I think you're so far gone at that point. And this is exactly why I was concerned about Donald Trump in the first place. Because most of Donald Trump's ilk believes this. What I don't understand is that our population is low in the USA because people have stopped having babies. So why is giving IDs to immigrant a problem? Well, there's that too, Corinda. That's a good point, right? That's a large problem. But then you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I promise you. It would not be something that I would advise talking to a MAGA about. I'm about to skip through some of these comments. I can't read all of y'all's stuff. So you want to raise taxes? Donald Trump's about to raise taxes via a tariff policy. Okay. And I would argue if you go and deport a bunch of people, you're going to raise taxes more. You're going to raise not a direct tax, but an indirect tax. The border was funded until Biden came in office and shut down. Wrong. Biden tried to pass a border bill, but guess what? Republicans said, nope, we want to wait until it's our turn so we can take credit. I'm a capitalist libertarian. Gotcha. Okay. That's an interesting take. It's an interesting take, Talon. KOE nations citing off a law that basically says if you come across the border, then you are, basically if you cross the border, then it's a criminal. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not, again, if that's your argument, KOE, and you want to stand by it, that we should deport all people who come across this border illegally at all and en masse, then I don't know how to take you away from that position. Government can make it easier for people to get citizenship. Sure, absolutely, Corinda. I agree with you. It's a criminal offense to come here illegally. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. But that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Thank you for explaining my point, is that they consider every single person that comes here across the border a criminal, and thus they want to get rid of all of those quote-unquote criminals. Thank you, KOE. I appreciate it. They need to get rid of sanctuary cities. Why should they get rid of sanctuary cities, Melissa? Again, to see where you are, how do you feel about remaining in Mexico until asylum cases can be determined? Possibly. I don't know about the remain in Mexico policy per se. I haven't done enough research to really form that. I have time. It's only 3:00. Let me go ahead and let's see. What was Trump's remain in Mexico policy, though? I'm inclined to say I don't see a major issue with that, but I want to see exactly what this was. Let's see. In 2018, the Department of Justice implemented policy to deny the lack of protection from gender-based violence or gang violence were lawful basis for claiming asylum. Oh, wait. To deny that lack of protection from gender-based violence or gang violence were lawful basis for claiming asylum, overturning this precedent. Jeff Sessions wrote, generally claims by aliens pertaining to domestic violence or gang violence perpetrated by non-governmental actors will not qualify for asylum. Let's see. Announcement and implementation. Announced the Migrant Protection Protocols, colloquially known as the Remain in Mexico Program, policy allowing the government to release migrants with asylum claims. Oh, so what they're saying here, a policy allowing the government to release migrants with asylum claims to Mexico to await their asylum hearings in the United States. And implement the program, the policy memo released on January 25th, 2019. The program was first rolled out in San Isidro, California, port of entry bordering Tijuana, Baja California. It was subsequently implemented in Calexico, Mexicali, El Paso, Ciudad Juarez, Brownsville, Matamoros, Laredo, blah, blah, and just got on all these other ones. According to DHS, aliens whose claims are okay, here we go. Aliens whose claims are found meritorious by an immigration judge will be allowed to remain in the U.S. Those determined without valid claims will be removed from the U.S. to the country of nationality or citizenship. By June 2019, over 12,000 migrants have been returned to Mexico under the policy. By September, 47,000 people have been returned and 57 by December. Human Rights First found at least 636 of those returned were victims of violent crimes. So 636 people of those 57,000 were actually victims. Pretty gnarly. Oh, shoot. What's up, non-fawn? Oh, shoot. I can't hear you. Hold on. Let me change my settings. See, anytime I unplug my mic, it like changes everything. All right. Try saying something right now.
What's up?
There we go. All right. What's up, buddy? What you want to talk about? This this is like a topic I've been talking about all day, so I'm exhausted. But real quick, before you get into it, I want to say this one thing. To the person who asked me about Remain in Mexico, and I know I missed a lot of you guys' chat there. The Remain in Mexico policy seems like they would still have to be determined by a judge once they get here in the United States to whether or not their asylum claim is valid or not. So it doesn't seem like it would really change much. Like they get caught at the border and then the border patrol agent goes, nope, no, sir, we're going to drive you in our pickup truck over to the border. That's not how that seems to work. Remain in Mexico policy seems to be like, in other words, they go to see a judge. The judge then, I guess, I'm assuming, based on what I'm seeing here.
The Remain in Mexico is just that instead of waiting in the U.S. for their asylum date, they wait in Mexico for their asylum date.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it only affected 80,000 people in total, which is not a huge amount of people considering how many people cross the border.
And it also seems like the thing about this is it seems like they'd have to have come through a port of entry, because that's what it looks like it's saying here. It was first rolled out at a port of entry, and then it was subsequently implemented at these other port of entries. So I don't know if this would even be applied to anybody who necessarily crosses the border and gets picked up by a border patrol agent. I don't know where that would fall.
Yeah.
Wes said it's a Stephen Miller policy. Yes, that too. There's that too. And we can also look at Tom Homan, who had a hand in family separation. Oh man, non-fun. This stuff is tough for me to like talk about, bro. It's just wild to me that MAGA is so mask off about this. There's some who are like still have a little bit of humanity. They're like, yeah, I don't necessarily agree that we should like deport families and things like that. Like they should be given a process first. So
yeah, it's insane.
This is insane, bro. I don't like it. Melissa Rose said, because that's where all the criminals hide. Look at New York, look at Los Angeles. It looks like a third world. Any inner city is going to look like a third world country. Okay. Depending on and it's not because of Democrat run policies or things like that. There's a lot of population density that gets involved with that. You can look at poverty, things like that. And I'm not saying poverty necessarily means that you're a third world country, but you can point to any city. I can also, if you want me to, I can point to, and look, I'll say it. You can go look at any kind of trailer park and assume that it looks like that. Okay?
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. Go to any Bible Belt trailer park and see the alcoholism, see the poverty there. Really?
Not one of those fancy trailer parks either. I know a few fancy trailer parks. No, I'm talking about the one where the rent's $100 a month. Okay. Yeah. Good luck. Where is it? Man, y'all are going fast. I've got my entire chat with YouTube included in here. Matter of fact, where is? Okay, I have to make sure I keep up Kick's chat. Kick's not integrated into Streamlabs yet. Because that's where all the criminals hide. I already read that one. The House Homeland Security about the inhumane conditions faced by unaccompanied migrant children across the southern border, many of whom are. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, according to the law, everyone has to come through the port of entry. Yeah, exactly. So if they don't come through the port of entry, then they have a whole nother set of processes, right? And that remain in Mexico policy wouldn't necessarily apply to them. And then those people would end up having to go to see a judge. And then we're just back to square one. So that's why I think it's a wholly ineffective thing. Unless you want to apply remain in Mexico to the people who cross illegally, sure. But those people who cross illegally, cross not a port of entry, but just through the Rio Grande or whatever, they're still going to be given a due process because that's a constitutional protected right, by the way. How many Gottaways do you think there were over the last 4 years? I've seen estimates as high as 10 million, but here's what I would say. I would say make that number.
Oh, shot.
Well, here's what I say. Make that number as high as possible. Let me explain why, okay? Because guess what? It reduces the ratio that you guys perpetuate. That there were 100,000 immigrants who ended up doing some crime or something like that has not been verified or anything like that. It was 130,000 homicides or something. Yeah, guess what? That makes that number exponentially more smaller. So go on. Make it high as you want. Make it 10 million. Make it 20 million. Make it 30 million. Because guess what? You're only making the portion of people who actually come over this country and commit crimes smaller and smaller. So make it as large as you want. But in reality, it's actually significantly smaller than 10 million, I'm sure. Have you looked into that?
I don't know if they have the numbers released. I looked into it a little bit because a lot of people cite the Title 42 shit that Trump did and shutting down that border. There's a one of the responses to that is that if you look at during Title 42, although the number of people claiming asylum decreased a lot, the number of known Gottaways, people who just completely evaded Border Patrol, increased a lot because people knew that if they went up to Border Patrol to try to claim asylum, they wouldn't get it. So they tried to completely evade Border Patrol. And that's why we have there's a low number of encounters, but a much higher number of known Gottaways.
Gotcha.
And we know relatively accurately how many people cross the border because by now we have cameras over most of the border. So,
well, that's kind of my position too, right? Which is there are reasonable, rational ways to handle our crisis at the border, but going through and just this, I know I keep harping on this and I feel like I'm a broken record, but the thought of an ICE agent showing up to somebody's house and knocking on their door or on, not knocking, no knock warrants exist still. I think, I don't know, have they been banned federally? Have no knock warrants been banned federally?
I don't think so.
I remember, I think Trump was championing something like that actually one time. Federal ban. No. Okay, there's no federal ban. Okay, but there are efforts to limit their use. I know after the Breonna Taylor thing, they tried changing that. But the thought of somebody showing up to my house or my neighbor's house or whatever and banging down their door and arresting everyone but the children is terrifying to me. It's funny because Republicans will sit there in abortion debates and talk about how, we need to protect the children. Yeah. Children that are only a certain color, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to say it like it is. You care about the children, but you don't care about, it's funny because this kind of intertwines a little bit with this. You care about them until they have to go to foster care, and then you don't want to fund foster care.
Yeah. And then Also, speaking of caring about children, I'm curious what you think of the Matt Gaetz withdrawing.
Oh, dude, screams corruption. It like this dude is scared. I found that there was two possible things that happened. I think one, he was either, it could be all three. I think he was either trying to cover it up. I think he was possibly intimidated by Donald Trump or Trump administration to say, hey, look, we're not going to take the L for this. You need to. Or he was trying to, what was the other one? Oh, he was trying to get them to not release the report, which I think is not, I think they should still release the report for clarity, personally.
Yeah.
And I think that him trying to run away like this is such a cowardly move. So cowardly.
Yeah.
And,
I'm very disappointed that I won't be able to stream his Senate confirmation hearings and farm it for content. Very disappointing.
He wanted to run away from that. He did not. I think that's one of the reasons why too, is that he did not want to face this, the confirmation hearings, because it would be brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason Ray came in. Welcome in, by the way, Jason. Politics, period, is a Ponzi scheme. If you're sticking up for one side or the other, you have fallen victim to the evil corruption and evil empire, that ideology. Yeah, that's awesome. Jason Ray, that's kind of the view about MAGA, though. I think that speaks more to MAGA than it does the left. That's the one thing I've noticed is that the right, I remember when I was simping for the right a few years ago, okay? For anyone who's new to my chat, who's like, you dirty leftist, I want you to understand something. I have only really recently moved to the liberal side. And the reason for that is because the right has absolutely lost their crap. Okay. I don't know. They've given way to MAGA's ideology. They've moved further right, which leaves me, it moves the Overton window to the right, which means I'm now on the left. And so that is why, and I understand, Miss April, and this is the thing, is I think in due time you will be on the left too, because here's what's happening. MAGA is now labeling anybody and everybody a rhino. In fact, I saw some people labeling some of the Republican senators who came out against Matt Gaetz and called them a rhino. The only definition to be a rhino now is standing up against Trump. So, but anyways, where I was going with that is like, I moved over to the left. I was tired of seeing the way that my party was going. And MAGA has a really unique ideology in that they are one party. The MAGA is the Republican Party. There is no I'm not even gonna call it a GOP. The GOP doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Bro.
It's gone, dude. I've looked at a video of you can look at videos of Reagan, you can look at videos of George Sr., and a little bit of George W., if I have to be fair, a little bit of George W., some of their videos about immigration, some of their videos about, party politics. We could even go as late as John McCain if we're going to be a little bit generous here, where he was very much about trying to make sure, hey, we're in politics, but we're going to play this clean, right? That party is gone. It started to fade a little bit with the Tea Party, and then we got Trump in 2016, and now we have Trump in 24, which is like Super Saiyan Trump, okay? It's Super Saiyan MAGA. It's insane. What's up, Omega? Funny that both sides have the exact same thing. Well, no. So the left is more divided. The left is far more divided. In fact, this is why, in my opinion, Kamala lost. It's because the left is far more divided. And I think that when you look at the left and how Kamala appealed to the moderate, I think that was one of her biggest issues. She gained nothing from appealing to the right. In fact, compared to Joe Biden, she lost about a percentage point. So she didn't gain anything from appealing to the right. She should have, what's up, Scroogle? But if you're calling yourself a liberal, then you're probably not actually a leftist, especially if you're the Democrat, support the Democrat Party. Well, there you go. This is a big thing too, right? And when we talk about the left being one single ideology, no, and Donald Trump even says this as so, right? Donald Trump has gone on to say, oh, Kamala is a Marxist, communist, socialist. It's like, okay, thank you for proving our point. The left is not one party. How many times can you sit there and say the same thing about the right? You can sit there and say libertarian, but thank you for proving my point that a libertarian is just somebody who's afraid to be called a Republican. Whoever that channel.
I gotta go reach it for my own stream.
Okay, buddy. Take care, buddy. Yeah. Check him out, guys. If y'all want to check out Non-Fawn, check him out. All right, buddy. Appreciate you, Non-Fawn.
Hell yeah. Thanks. Appreciate you.
Take care. So yeah, like that's the whole thing is like when we look at like who's actually like on the left, you got a whole bunch of people. I do think she would have done better if she chose Shapiro instead of Walz. I don't think so. I think Walz was a great candidate. And I think that honestly, if she had gone with Shapiro, I think she would have actually lost more support. My honest opinion, I think Biden would have at least done better in 2024 than Harris. He would have at least carried one or two swing states. Agree or disagree? No. KOE. I didn't see your name in there. I don't think that Joe Biden would have done better. Historically, he did really well in 2020, but I think there was this whole set of factors in 2020. I think in 2020 you had the BLM protests, you had C9. I'm gonna say because I'm on like 4 different platforms. C19. You had the economy just going crazy. So I think there was a whole unique set of circumstances that allowed Biden to get pushed through the edge that wasn't uniquely to Biden. We also went through 4 years of Donald Trump, so it was fresh on that heels. And I've said this from the very beginning. I still stick to this a little bit. People who voted for Joe Biden didn't vote for Joe Biden because they love Joe Biden. They voted for Joe Biden because he wasn't Donald Trump, right? I think that's a big thing. I still stick by it to this day, is that there was that factor that played into it. Now we've had 4 years of Joe Biden, and unfortunately, due to Donald Trump's economic policies, Kamala Harris was up against a battle that she couldn't face. And I don't have it on me, which is your wallet, right? Inflation doesn't go down. Inflation doesn't go to zero. We can't bring it down to zero because that would cause a recession. And so because of that perception, Kamala Harris had a hard time overcoming that. Did you see him on the debate stage? Yeah, I saw him on the debate. Are you talking about Joe Biden or are you talking about, who are you talking about? She would have taken Pennsylvania, but Walz was a way better pick. Yeah, 100%. And then they tried to run on I'm not Trump again. Yes and no. They definitely leaned into it a little bit, but they yeah, I would understand that. Let's see. Let's be frank. Biden did so well in 2020 because the Dems gamed the. We're not getting into that, KOE Nation. Either way, you can look at the fact that Kamala Harris did 74 million compared to Joe Biden's 80 million. She still did significantly well. And again, it's funny you mentioned that because I still have not seen any questions about this time around, even though that same process was still in place. Scroogle, sorry for coming in hot, but I'm sick of the Democratic Party and neoliberals calling themselves leftists. No, dude, you're good. Here's the thing, Scroogle. I understand that, right? But there's got to be a place for the liberals, okay? Like we have anybody who come to the left is like should be welcomed, okay? We shouldn't do what MAGA does. MAGA does purity testing. MAGA will only allow you onto the right if you support MAGA. You kiss the ring, you can be claimed on the right. Okay? If you're a moderate Republican, you're considered a rhino, and they will shame you out of that side. So I think that, I get it. And I get also, I think you're coming at this from a perspective as well that West probably does, which is if you're on the left, or if you're a liberal, you're not on the left by the global standard of left and right. So I think that's probably what you're getting at. She ran her campaign as she would run the country. She's now $20 million in debt. I don't even know if that's actually been proven. From what I've understand, her campaign, I don't think that's been proven at all. Looking at it right now. Let's see. When you lose an election and there's that much money there are definitely... There have been reports that the campaign is $20 million, though the campaign is denying that. So it's not even been confirmed yet. So I'm not going to run on that until we get like more decent numbers. A libertarian is someone scared to call themselves a Republican. Left does not do purity testing. No, I didn't say the left. I said the right. Did I say the left? I meant the right. The right does purity testing. Not sure I supported Vivek and my MAGA friends accepted me. Okay. Vivek is a Trump light that people were able to run away from. And I've seen people look, and I respect KOE Nation, despite our severe disagreements, people who don't want to have the MAGA label because they know they're kind of like the sane MAGA, right? They're like, I don't want this label attached to me because I know what it actually comes with. So I'm going to run on Vivek, who's a Trump light, who I get all the nice benefits of Trump minus the MAGA label. And ironically enough, we now see where Vivek is sitting. He is now sitting in a Trump cabinet, which proves my point. She picked an insane VP. He allowed to burn down the city. You got to be no. So I've read through this as well. He didn't do that. He was very responsive to trying to get them to take care of it. He acted as quickly as he could. At the end of the day, people went crazy and they did stuff they shouldn't have done, and they should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Not sure I support of where is it? Actually, quite a few states defortified their voting systems. Georgia is a great example. Maybe we can have a conversation on that some other time, KOE. I'm also on 4 different platforms, so I'm trying to be very careful, and maybe you can tell me in DMs and we can see which platform would be best for it. Usually the even libertarians purity test to a degree. Usually the ANCAPs who aren't libertarians, they are anarchists. The left absolutely purity test. Maybe to a degree, but it's a certainly lesser degree than MAGA. I'm just calling it like it is. We can look at what's going on right now in MAGA, and it's insane. I went to Kamala rally and it was pretty good. Trump actually had empty seats. Same video a week earlier. Yeah, Trump had some gnarly empty seats, and the only ones he got really like a lot of people in were for some of the larger ones like Madison Square Garden. And these were heavily publicized. Madison Square Garden. What was the one? Butler, Pennsylvania. That one got a lot. Or the Butler, Pennsylvania, part 2. Trump was a Dem, so was Rogan. Why did the left lose those people? If you think Rogan was on the left, I have some lakefront property to sell you. I know that he supported Bernie in 2020, but all of his policy positions post 2020 were certainly pro-Trump. Same thing with if you look at RFK Jr. And Trump was a Dem. That wasn't until he moved to the right and took hold of the Republican base. If you look at RFK Jr., for example, he had started out on the left, ended up moving moderate several years ago, and then ended up now, I say moderate. He was independent, but he definitely had some heavy right-wing leanings and ideologies. You can call yourself a leftist, but your actions speak louder than words. So let's go back to some of these picks. Who are some of these other picks we could talk about? So we have Marco Rubio's Rogan didn't ask any tough questions whenever. Yeah, Corinda, this is a big issue too, right? Is Joe Rogan was extremely favorable to Donald Trump. And if you don't believe me, you can see the UFC event. Let me see if I can pull that up. And I have something to talk about that with politics and sports. Joe Rogan, UFC. I'll show you this real quick. Hold on. Let me do this. UFC Trump. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. So you can see that it was not really that one wasn't the one I was looking for. He like pretty much brought him in for a big. Here you go. This is the one I'm looking for.
Congratulations, sir.
Oh shoot! I gotta mute that audio. I don't want to get that put up on there. Hug a really long time, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that Joe Rogan ended up endorsing Donald Trump, which was no surprise to anybody. Yeah, so he definitely helped out Donald Trump as much as he could. Joe KOE Nation. I'll shift my question for the sake of 2S. How are you feeling about the Supreme Court now? Are Thomas and Alito going to retire? Will any of the leftist judges exit? That's not going to happen. I don't think we've got 2 months. There's zero chance. And even if they were to leave, they would, at this point, if any Supreme Court justice were to leave, it would still be given to the right. The right's going to take the right wing is still going to get their nominations. And Thomas Alito going to retire? Possibly. I think they're more likely to. Do I think they will? I don't know. No Rogan fanboy. I didn't watch the whole interview, but he did push back on Trump, saying he wanted to interview Kamala and that he thought he'd have a good convo with her. Well, so the problem and I think this was one of Kamala Harris's weaknesses in her campaign. Kamala Harris didn't do a lot of social media interviews, and that's the new forefront of media. Social media is the new forefront. This is why I think that Donald Trump did extremely well with the younger audience. I believe for young men, he ended up pulling in like some insane amount. And I think that's wise because he ended up leaning into the social media presence. Kamala didn't. So that's a big issue. Yeah, I don't know if Rogan would have been the best avenue, to be quite honest with you. I don't think that any of Rogan's audience would have really changed their mind per se. I think she should have definitely leaned into some more larger social media leftist personalities. But the problem is that the right has a social media ecosystem that is unequivocal to the left. The left doesn't have near, like, what do we have? Like, what, the Young Turks? You have Kyle Clinton? Like, I don't know of any large leftist social media platform really. You could maybe have what's his name? David Pakman. You could maybe, but even then, like, compare that to like the Daily Wire, compare that to the Blaze, compare that to like Joe Rogan. I mean, it's just insane. The left doesn't have anything of that magnitude. And a lot of that has to do, again, with the fact as well, the right has kind of a singular ideology and the left, okay. Scroogle, work with me, not against me. The Young Turks have definitely moved further right, given some of their particular policies. You know what I mean? Theo Vaughn, yeah, that's another one. Work with me. I'm just saying, I mean, even then, even if they're not left, those are my points. Right? You could say that they're libs. I get what you're saying because you probably view them in more of a liberal sense. I get that. But I'm just saying the left doesn't really have one. If you have an idea of who is, let me know. But as far as I know, they're not. There's not a whole lot of large ones out there. How do you have chat for multiple platforms? So Streamlabs OBS has that where you can go in and you can sign into these multiple platforms. So YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all that. It's pretty cool. I like it. I've actually got up another chat here for Kick, but Kick's not doing too hot. So real quick, I want to take this moment. By the way, guys, I am unemployed. So if you feel like you want to throw a little bit of money my way, feel free to. If not, don't feel obligated. Also, please, if you want to do me at least a solid favor, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe and notification bell, and like this stream, please, and share the stream if you love it. And if you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. And if you're on Twitter, hit that follow button. Okay, you get the drift. Follow, at least follow me. Okay, give me some of those. Okay. The few interviews that Harris did, they did softball questions she had before she even gotten stage. It's best. Well, thank you, Onion, for that follow. I appreciate it. If you look at if you're talking about like the teleprompter situation too, Donald Trump had a teleprompter at Univision. It wasn't actually a teleprompter. It was more for the host. And I believe it was in Spanish, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, Kamala Harris did a very, very contentious interview with, who was it? Was it Brett? I think it was Brett Baer. She did an interview with. That was pretty contentious. So there was that. If you watch Joe Rogan, he does not disagree, but he asks questions as if he does not know and does not have an agenda, but to make money. Yeah. The thing about Joe Rogan is he does ask a lot of questions, though, that are also kind of like leaning into that particular side, though. But I admit that's one of his biggest selling points. I view them as establishment clowns pretending to be leftists, and that's the problem. People think these clowns represent the left, and David Pack. Hell yeah. Well, look, man, I mean, this is the thing, right? Is like, even then, right? Let's take out the Young Turks. Let's take out, I don't say take out. I meant like, you know what I mean? Let's take them out of the equation. Who do you have left on the left to really represent those views? You don't have anything near the size of Daily Wire or Blaze or anything like that. And this is the problem with the left. And I know a lot of people right now that are actually trying to build up those social media ecosystems. I mean, when you saw that like Trump was going to come out with something, you saw like 5 or 6 very large influencers on social media go through and just absolutely have the same exact messaging. I don't see that with the left. Kyle Kalinske. David Dole is okay, but I don't think he's near the equivalent of The Blaze or Daily Wire or any of those. I don't think I don't think it's near that size. Steven Crowder, you can look at Steven Crowder as well. So you can look at those two. Let's see. What are some other things here? Going through YouTube. Do we have any other news? I know we had Matt Gaetz pop out, and that was pretty wild that Matt Gaetz ended up dropping out. Breaking Point Breaking Point's pretty large. What's their YouTube subscriber count compared to like Daily Wire or whatever? I want to see. I still don't think Breaking Point is quite that large. They have all the TV stations are leftist. No, I would actually disagree. Like a lot of, even CNN has run cover for Donald Trump more than, or MSNBC. We can look at MSNBC, how, what's his name? Scarborough ended up doing like apologizing to Trump. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are worried that they are going to get their licenses revoked, which is not surprising. Breaking Points. 1.37 million subscribers. I can guarantee you Daily Wire has 1,000 times more than that. Oh, Daily Wire has 3 times that amount. They have 3 million subscribers. The Blaze. I don't think they're going to be on. Oh, they are. They are on YouTube. 2 million subscribers. And this is just on YouTube. Not counting any other platforms. So still, haven't got quite in there. You got to get past 3 million in order for it to be larger than the Daily Wire. And 3 million is a large number. I'm still struggling, man. I'm still struggling to get over 100 and or 1,000 subscribers, okay, on YouTube, man. I've been grinding away relentlessly to try to get to that point. We might watch a video here in a minute. I wonder if she is protected now that she is wife of Supreme Court. I have no more information on this. Did they got caught taking money from Russia? No, I don't think. Was it Daily Wire or was it Tim Pool's stuff? I think it was Tim Pool's stuff. Oh. Whew, it's been a long day, y'all. Imagine debating people for like 5 hours. It's awesome. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm not ending stream. This is not ending the stream. I am just talking about my schedule. Tomorrow we'll be streaming on TikTok from I will actually watch a Kyle Kulinski video here in just a second. Or actually, I might watch someone on the let's see, might watch a Kyle Kulinski video. Yeah, we'll do this one because this one's about Bibles in school. About multiple chat. Did you say True Labs or something else? I just cannot find it, so would appreciate it. Yeah. Go just look it up on Google. Streamlabs OBS. You can to do multi-streaming, you also have to pay for Streamlabs OBS Ultra, which is frustrating, but it happens. I think you would have to have that to stream to like 3 different platforms, which is what I do. I stream to YouTube, Twitter, Kick, and Twitch. I can't do TikTok because you have to be part of like some kind of like a team or something like that. It's so dumb. It was Tim Pool's group? Yeah, it was. That's what I thought. I don't understand what the left is so afraid of with Trump. Yes, Streamlabs can give you multi-chat. I don't understand what the left is so afraid of with Trump. He does not want your rights. He wants your money. He does want your rights. In order for him to go through these mass deportations, you would have to revoke the constitutional rights. You can also go after the fact that Donald Trump wants to get rid of the constitutional right to free speech of burning the flag. You could also go to the fact that Donald Trump wants to get rid of some of these media platforms, licenses. So Donald Trump wants to do that as well. A lot of violations of the First Amendment. You want good leftist channels actually speaking truth to power, do dissidents, Harlan's Media, The Gray Zone, Garland Nixon, Any News. Bro, how many of those, but that's the problem though, is how many of those people have actually got like a ton of viewers though, right? Like I'm just going to look up your first one you gave me because it's probably your most, the most prominent one for you. Dissidents. Let's see. How many does this one have? 77,000 subscribers, man. Censorship. Okay, well, like I said, man, this is the thing. I think that the thing is that on the left, your majority of the left, I know you don't call them the left. You got the same situation as like Wes, but use my definition of left is that majority of them are liberals, right? The majority of them are going to be liberals, and then they kind of phase out. Now, you should certainly try, and this is the thing, is like when Kamala Harris was running a campaign, she was not focused, like for example, she kind of ignored the Palestine issue, right? The Israel-Palestine issue. Quality over quantity, sure. The thing about it is she was not she kind of took that middle ground, whereas like the middle ground was appealing more to the moderates instead of more towards the base. The other issue is like Bernie Sanders brought up, I believe it was, which is that we don't have a unifying issue, right? Donald Trump created a unifying issue that Kamala Harris didn't even run on, right? Culture war stuff. Kamala Harris did not mention anything about culture war. KOA Nation, last question for now before I have to get back to the farm. Would you support JD Vance for president? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not with a single iota. No, the dude scares the crap out of me. Appreciate you though, KOE. Definitely have to have a conversation soon. I'm going to be streaming Monday through Friday for the foreseeable future. A majority left are not liberals. You got stats for that? Just by my own, I mean, that's an intuition for me, sure. I'm not pulling that. I mean, I'm not going through and looking at that, but I mean, I would assume the further that you go down the political compass, the more that the person is going to, that you're going to have less and less the further left you go. I also think the bell graph is a little bit more shallow compared to the right. Let's watch this video from Kyle Kulinski real quick. It's about Bibles in a school. Let's see where I agree or disagree. This will probably rile up some of y'all's feathers. Let's go to solo web source. Let's watch this.
All right, guys. So we talked about this idiot Ryan Walters, who runs the education system in Oklahoma.
Bernie said did not worry about the people and talked about the extremes. Bernie was probably fine the way that he was. I don't think he was. I mean, he was a little extreme, sure, more than left, more than liberals, certainly. I think that's fair. Democracy is not liberal. Oh, well, you're coming at it from a different perspective, so I suppose I could see that. Now we have witnessed the first practical use of intercontinental missiles in war in human history. Now it is very certain that Putin is very likely to use nuclear bombs. Trump has no way to stop it because Putin knows that he will definitely compromise. Look, from everything I'm reading, this was expected. And as far as like the Biden using those, Biden allowing the use of those, that from my understanding was going to be done anyways. It was understood that this was something that he was going to end up doing. I don't see the big issue with it. I think that it's funny to me that Republicans will sit there and get upset that Ukraine is, or Russia is lobbying missiles over to Ukraine, but then when Ukraine decides to fire back one at Russia, it's like, yeah, we saw what Russia was able to do in Ukraine. Not very well, right? There's kind of on the left, neocons, modern, and then Bernie bros. Yeah. There's a difference in being liberal and being a liberal. I got you. Kind of like being a liberal would be more like just kind of like one of those like liberal and name only kind of things. Is that what I'm assuming you're meaning? I actually think it comes down to misinformation. I can speak to most Americans and convince them that I speak Russian, so media can now show Americans select economic numbers, convince them that they were in a recession. Yeah, that one right there. Convince everybody that we're in a recession, even though we're not, right?
And the guy's an extremist. The guy is insane. The guy, didn't he give a shout out to like libs of TikTok and thank them for their help when he was at some education meeting in Oklahoma?
It's Oklahoma. What do you expect?
The fact that you are snuggled up to libs of TikTok and you're in charge of education in a state is wild, dog. That is wild. So anyway, he goes on CNN here and, his new big...
Can I get from you what liberal means? I'm not a political philosopher by any stretch of the means. I know I'm a political pundit, mildly. A liberal to me is somebody who believes kind of like, I'm going to give you all kind of like a very basic elementary school, like kind of definition of this, just because I'm not someone who like gets deep into like political philosophy. Liberalism is somebody who kind of believes in like limited government, essentially, right? They believe in kind of having some, it's kind of center left, I guess. What is the definition of liberalism, like specifically? Let me see. Because I'm not a political philosopher by any means, and I've been meaning to get into this stuff for a long time, but I just haven't had a chance. Yeah, based on the rights of the individual, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality, rights to private property, and equality before the law. This is just from like Wikipedia. Liberals espouse various and often mutually warring views depending on their understanding of these principles, but generally support private property, market economies, individual rights, including civil rights and human rights, liberal democracy, secularism, rule of law, economic and political freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of so yeah, like I said, kind of like limited government essentially. But somebody that believes in individual rights, it's kind of like that. That's where I would go. I need to do more of this research. This is something that I'm not a political philosopher. I'm not somebody who goes into these things. I need to do more research on this end. I'm someone who gets into I'm a policy guy. Yo, thank you, Marxism. Appreciate it. I'm somebody who gets into policy. I'll look at the policy, and then if you ask me where I stand, I just naturally kind of lean more towards center left, which tends to be liberal. That's where I go, if that makes sense. Okay, now I understand. Russia didn't start this war, which isn't a war yet. It's still a special military operation. Ukraine didn't start in February, just as okay. Yeah. Sounds like most libertarian sock dims are okay. Yeah, don't come at me with all this stuff about what's a liberal, what's a socialist, look. I'll tell you, I know what their policy positions typically are. If you were to ask me a hardcore definition, that's gonna be a little bit more difficult and a lot more elementary, if that makes sense. I can tell you what a socialist may believe in. I can tell you what a communist might believe in, but I can't tell you the definition of communism or whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and go to solo lip source. Let's continue watching this video.
Thing that he's been in the news for is he is forcing the Bible into Oklahoma public school classrooms. Let me repeat that. He is forcing the Bible into Oklahoma public school classrooms.
I think you had an idea, but now you looked up. We have a point where we can go. Yeah, exactly.
Now you might be thinking, Kyle, that's illegal. Kyle, that's unconstitutional.
Because here's the thing, man. I'm not going to oh, Scroogle, stop. Stop. Look. Listen. Okay. All right, Scroogle. Peace out, bro. Here's the thing, bro. Okay. If you want me to sit here and give you an in-depth scholarly view on these different political philosophies, be my guest. Okay. I don't see the issue in not knowing the philosophical standpoint of all of these different positions. Sure, it's probably something that I should have a knowledge of, willing to admit. But that speaks to me and my integrity. I'm not going to sit here and fake to you guys what I do and don't know. Okay? So, if you want to peace out, peace out. Again, I can give you my policy positions, and I think that's far more important than me sitting here and arguing with you on what is a liberal, what is a leftist, what is a socialist. To me, that's kind of like getting into the really, really weird weeds of things that just kind of make things a little, I don't know, boring. Probably a bad idea to alienate a lot of students. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Bible thing. Yeah. Here, let's get back into this.
We're supposed to have separation of church and state. You are 100% correct. This is not a thing. Imagine.
What's up, Mitch?
Somebody tried to force the Quran into every public school classroom in Oklahoma, what the reaction would be, or the Bhagavad Gita. Everybody would be, what the fuck are we doing? This is crazy. It's education. It's not supposed to be pure indoctrination into a particular religious ideology. Well, he wants it to be because he's a fundamentalist Christian psychopath idiot. So he goes on CNN and look at this back and forth.
The books you bought from what you raised in your Twitter handle, I just saw a link to that, was the Trump-endorsed Bible. That's $60 a pop. There are many Bibles available that are less than half of that. Why are you using the Trump-endorsed?
That's insane to me. They're spending $60 on this Bible that Trump endorsed, which Trump made $300,000 off of selling this Bible. And now they're buying more of these Bibles.
Bible. What do you say to critics who argue this is clear-cut political pandering right here?
What I would tell critics is we're going to teach American history in Oklahoma. So that includes the Bible, the Declaration of...
We're going to teach American history. That includes the Bible. Does he not know that the Bible is not from fucking Missouri? Does he not understand?
Well, someone has to buy them. No, you don't have to buy them. That's the thing, Miss April. You can get them for completely free. You can go online to google.com and find them for free. And no different than you can go and get the Constitution for free, right?
And that, oh my God. Oh my God.
Critics is
They're using tax dollars to buy Bibles while making millions. Exactly.
We're going to teach American history in Oklahoma. So that includes the Bible, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and Bill of Rights. They are all included in this Bible that we've purchased. The Bible will be back in every Oklahoma classroom. President Trump
Why
is
the
bringing...
Trump Bible, though? Why not a cheaper Bible where you could
Exactly.
save a lot of money in taxpayer dollars?
I just told you. All of those documents are in this Bible that we purchased for our...
So this is the issue, and I think Kyle Klinsky might get into this. This is the issue right here, is that these Bibles have the Constitution, they have the Bill of Rights in it. It has all of these things, and you can't sit there and tell me that this wasn't a plan from the very beginning with Trump's Bible. Trump wants to put these Bibles in every classroom, I guarantee you. Guarantee you. And this is their way to get around it, is by putting these particular documents into these Bibles.
Our kids so that they could understand the full context of the founding documents. So we have the Bible, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights. These are all so important in our students understanding what makes America the greatest country in the history of the world.
So let me just be clear that I hate this line of questioning from the CNN host because it presupposes.
No, I would go to his office and yell at that dude for wasting money if he was in my district. Exactly, Talon. That's the thing, is like, this is such a waste of money. I told you Trump wants your money, not your rights. Yeah. And keep in mind, this is only going into AP government classrooms. So it's not even going to every single class as well. So, which is kind of another workaround I think they're trying to do to try to prevent it from being like, a violation of the Constitution.
Is that it is reasonable to put the Bible in public.
True, Corinda. Next, we should be buying Trump sneakers. Maybe a Trump hat for visors. You know what I mean?
Like classrooms. Why wouldn't you save money and go with a different? Do you want to know the real?
Like buy Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers? Yeah, right.
Reason why this happened. You all know this. We covered it at the time. This idiot wanted to funnel millions of dollars directly to Trump and buy the Trump Bibles using Oklahoma taxpayer dollars. He wanted to send Trump millions of dollars. Why? For a political favor. This guy wanted to be picked for the head of the Department of Education or have some cushy position in the Trump administration. That's why he funneled Trump millions of dollars to get his shitty Bibles. That's why he did it. Now, by the way, Trump hasn't followed through. Trump didn't pick this guy anyway. He didn't pick him. But also, even the whole conversation about having the Bible in classrooms is insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. Public schools are supposed to just give people knowledge, information, facts.
Yeah, this is like a big issue of mine. What's going on, Miss Mandy? Hey, Miss Mandy, you have came in at a very fun time. Corinda, what's going on? You just missed all the action, Miss Mandy. It was pretty crazy. I had a lot of people coming in here and debating me on a little bit on mass deportation and things like that. But I hope you're feeling good as well. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, Jussie Smollett, Aspire Life. What's going on? You'll have pride flags, but anti-Bible. What? What are you talking about? Aspire Life? Of course I did. Good. So, if anybody's unaware, Jussie Smollett is now out. They have overturned Jussie Smollett's conviction. So I don't know if that means he's a free man at this moment, but I would assume it does. So pretty interesting. What did they have to say on this one? In schools? Oh, you'll have pride flags, but in schools. Wait a minute. Can you show me where that is? In fact, matter of fact, you can still bring a Bible to school as long as last time I checked. You can bring a Bible to school. The difference here is that they're actually trying to teach a curriculum here. I don't know of any curriculum that they have where they bring a pride flag into there. I don't know what you're talking about. Feeling much better? Good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Yeah, they overturned Jussie Smollett's conviction. This is up your wheelhouse, Miss Mandy. Here, let me go ahead and play this real quick for y'all.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the media and what you guys report. If you guys leave here today and you are reporting what Dan Webb is saying, that this is just a verdict on a technicality, which would be a disservice, well, of course the public will still feel that way. But if you report on the truth, if you report on what the Supreme Court said, that this was an unfair proceeding, if you look through the transcripts, and I don't know if some of you have, and now finally go back to sit down with the transcripts and start looking at a guy called maybe Anthony Moore, what he had to say, right? And start reading through the transcripts and maybe do a documentary. I don't know, but I think it depends. The ball is in the media's court. You know, when this case first started, I told the media, I told a lot of you, I said, listen, just give him a chance. Look through the evidence. Don't assume he's guilty. Do some investigative journalism. Interview these witnesses. No one wanted to do it. And you know, we're all human beings. We all go with the flow sometimes. So I hope corrective measure will be taken now, and the media actually does and acts like the fourth arm of government to hold checks and balances. And Mr. Webb was in an executive position. He was a prosecutor, and everyone allowed him to do what he wanted to do on a case that he shouldn't have been prosecuted.
So there you go. Yeah. So it looks like basically there was, they ended up getting him out of there for, I don't believe this. Yeah, let me look at this exactly, the exact reason. Let me see if I can read this because I am curious about this. Supreme Court, Jussie Smollett, overturning. State's highest court did not weigh in on the merits of the case against Smollett, ruling only that the constitutional rights were violated when he was prosecuted a second time. That's where they're coming at him from. After the original charges against him were dropped in 2019. This was not a decision on the merits of the case, whether or not he's guilty or not guilty, or he did it or he didn't do it. This is strictly a constitutional decision saying this is due process rights were violated by the way the system prosecuted him. CBS News Chicago legal analyst Irv Miller said there should not have been a trial before a jury. There should not have been a sentencing him to probation and time in Cook County Jail. How did the case against Smollett get to this point? I want to see. Yeah, double jeopardy, Miss Mandy. That's what it looks like. They ruled on this on double jeopardy is what it sounds like. Last December, appellate court panel upheld Smollett's conviction, but appellate Justice Fredman Lyle dissented, arguing it was fundamentally unfair to appoint a special prosecutor to charge Smollett a second time after he'd entered an agreement he believed would end the case. Okay. In reversing Smollett's conviction, the Illinois Supreme Court agreed with defense attorneys that the special prosecutor's decision to file new charges violated Smollett's rights after the original case was dropped, and Smollett agreed to forfeit his $10,000 bond. It defies credulity to believe the defendant would agree to forfeit $10,000 with the understanding that the prosecutors could simply re-indict him the following day. Oh, man. So basically what it was Jussie Smollett ended up like doing a $10,000 bond or whatever it was. And forfeit the bond or something like that. And then ended up, he did it under the idea that he was going to not be charged again and then only to get charged again. Yes, please do like this stream, please. We got like 1 week in each monotheistic religion, 1 week on polytheistic, and 1 week on I know what you're talking about, Confucianism, whatever, and Buddhism. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to talk about that with like AP history, but I don't agree with it being like, that's the thing is like, you can have a whole bunch of different religions in certain areas, but when you're having like an entire like class or something like that dedicated to Bibles and stuff, I just said, I don't know. I don't know where it stands on the constitutional merits. I think what they're trying to do here is I think they're trying to put these Bibles in these classrooms. Again, I'm not opposed to Christianity. I'm not opposed to students reading the Bible. Where I do have somewhat of an issue is how that would work in terms of the First Amendment with bringing in these Bibles into these classrooms. And especially if they're going to be doing a class on just the Bible. I think the problem is they're trying to bring this into an AP government class. And they're saying, well, look, the Bible has this Constitution in it. Well, why put the Bible in there then? What's the point of having the Bible in there? If not for the fact that you're going to end up teaching something from the Bible. Yeah, that makes sense then. Exactly. What if we had a religion class that they studied all religions to understand all their origins and beliefs? Yeah, Mark, I'd be fine. And I think in some cases you can have a history class or world history. I think world history does this, where they'll teach about all the different groups and their religious beliefs and things like that. That's one thing, right? But when you have like a Christian Bible coming into the classroom and that's what they're teaching on, And it should be selective. Yeah, Miss Mandy, that's the other thing I think how they're working this out is that the way they're doing what they're trying to do is that they're trying to use the Trump Bible. The Trump Bible has the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and all those other founding documents in it. And they're saying, well, because it has those documents, it should be in an AP government class. Except I don't think that this is I think this is a really weird loophole to try to inject the Bible into the class. Get it straight. It's a Trump Bible. Yeah, pretty much. Who is they? Republicans are trying to get it into the classrooms. 100%. It's literally a Republican who's trying to get into classrooms. In Texas, is trying to do the same thing. And it is a Trump Bible, yes. What's up, Always Looking? Appreciate you coming in, buddy. Well, they would not do it because no one will say, because no one will say Christianity was made because, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Miss Mandy, I'll show you this Bible. It is called the Greenwood Bible, technically. After Lee Greenwood, I think is his name, the guy that did I'm Proud to Be an American. Yeah, that one. Did that terribly, and I'm sorry if I sung y'all's ears off. Yeah, hold on. It's called the God Bless the USA Bible. It's a whopping $60 rose. Here, I'll show you guys this. Make sure there's no private information. Here it is right here. It's got an American flag on it. I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can find some. Yeah, exactly, Miss Mandy. Separation of church and state's calling. Separation of church and state. I'm trying to see if I can find the. Oh, they got special editions. Oh my gosh. How did I stumble on this? Oh my goodness gracious. Why did I do this? Why am I doing this to myself, guys? Why am I doing this? Oh man. Here is the God Bless the USA Bible for $60 endorsed by Donald Trump. You can also get the Inauguration Day edition of the Bible for $70, or you can get the $1,000 Donald Trump signed Bible, or the day that God intervened. Ah! Help me, please. Help me. Oh, man. It's kind of a weird color to have on there, huh? Okay. So, let's see. I'm trying to see if I can see some like pictures of it. Let's see. There should be. Anyways, it's got like the Constitution in it and things like that. But yeah, it was promoted by Donald Trump. So yeah, separation of church and state's calling. They want the Constitution back. But who is that? You know, Donald Trump has already said that he wants people in prison for like a year for burning the flag, which is a constitutionally protected form of free speech, by the way. Let's see. Any other new breaking news besides the Matt Gaetz thing? Of course, they're now saying that crooked Ken Paxton is a forerunner. No! They're putting Ken Paxton is in the running for the AG position. Oh, no. This is going to be interesting. Do they make all schools purchase the Trump Bibles federally, then remove the Department of Education from the states? Look, Inspired Life, I think what they're trying to do, and I'll say it again and again and again, I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to put the Constitution, they're trying to put the Bill of Rights into this Bible, and what they're trying to do is trying to use the Bible, use those documents as a vehicle to get the Bibles into school. Is essentially what they're trying to do. And trying to say, well, they've got government documents in it, so the students can learn all 4 pages of this while we've got 1,000 pages of the Bible sitting right in front of their face. Oh, what's going on with that, Matt Gaetz? Why did he drop out? Mandy, I don't know how much you know about the situation that's going on currently, but apparently there was several allegations now at this point that have been made against Matt Gaetz dealing with minors, and CNN had reached out. So he dropped out of the Senate because he wanted to, or was it the House? The House. I always mix it up. He dropped out of dropped from Congress since he was running for AG. Ethics. This was right before the Ethics Committee was going to release their report about their findings of these allegations. And then it was revealed today like probably about a couple of hours ago, that Matt Gaetz got a call from CNN saying, hey, we're about to drop this report about a second allegation. And it was at that moment that he said, probably about 30 minutes later after that phone call with CNN, ended up going deuces and then ended up dropping from the AG. And so, yeah, it looks really, really bad for Matt Gaetz. And now we've got a Ken Paxton potential Ken Paxton as being the potential AG pick, which is going to be quite interesting. Let's see. Yeah, and you got Tom Tillis right here being upset about these picks, saying it's an embarrassment. Continue the investigation, lock up Matt. Yeah, exactly. They're allowed to have the Bible in schools. In fact, I think they should have religious books in school. If religion is a right on, and a student can't work to afford a Bible because of labor laws, they should be able to access it at school. Only if this. Okay, they should have access to it, but we got to be very careful with how we say this. Are we saying that we should be putting it in the library, or are we saying we should make this part of a curriculum? If we were going to make the Bible part of the library, then we would have to make part all religious texts in that library. And I wouldn't disagree with that. I would say that's probably fine. But again, you would have to bring in all of those, and good luck telling your constituents on the school on a school board. You're going to be kind of a rookie politician, essentially, right? Imagine your first move as a politician saying in a Republican area, right? Exactly, Miss Mandy. Imagine being in a Republican district. It's your first role as a politician, and you go, you know what, guys? I want to put the Quran in the library. Tell me how that goes. Not going to work real well. So the school board won't put in the Quran, but they'll try to put in the Bible. They won't put in any of these other religious texts. I don't know what the other religious text is for Hinduism or any of these other religions. So, but yeah, good luck. That's a surefire way to like ruin your political career within 30 seconds. Let's see. What are some other topics? Exactly, right? And that's the thing is like I've thought about like doing like running for my school board and stuff like that, but I have a few issues with that. Like I feel like I'm not qualified at all to be on a school board. Not because like I'm not a teacher. I'm not someone I'm not an educator, right? I, however, would not have child labor laws. Ooh, that's a hot take, Talon. All religious texts should be in libraries. They had the Quran in my high school library. Yeah, I mean, again, if the problem is like if you're gonna have the Bible, and I have no problem with it being in the library, right? But I hit another subject. Okay. What are some other ones? What are some other news stories? Oh, we got a. So Pete Hegseth has responded to some allegations. And let's listen into what he has to say if we can hear it. I'll give you all a quick background and then we'll watch this. Pete Hegseth has been accused of doing some unethical things with a woman, and that has led to Linda McMahon. Yeah, let's not talk about Linda McMahon. I know Cypher, man. Cypher Reports is one of my buddies. He was on TikTok and he was like, guys, we shouldn't be focusing on it. No, it's just these are silly picks. But anyways, Pete Hegseth was accused of doing things with certain women, and the police or the report got leaked of that incident. And it's important to note that this was done by a mandatory reporter. So the mandatory reporter was a nurse, and she found out about this because of the testing that had to be done on this woman. And so the woman, the nurse, ended up calling the cops, and the cops started investigating. But no charges were formally brought. So, but again, no charges being brought. This is something I've seen a lot, especially with Matt Gaetz. No charges being brought does not mean that they are innocent per se. Now, they are innocent until proven guilty, sure. But it doesn't mean that there's no merit per se to these charges. Or sorry, not charges, the merit to these claims. It may just be that there's a lot of, like, for example, like when you go through this report, and I can't really show this on stream, I'm trying to be very careful with how I cover this, is there is a lot of, the problem is this woman claims to have been given something that fogs her memory. And so because of that, she's not able to give quite enough details. She claims that it was Pete, but the problem is that exactly, they're allegations. So the problem is that she's able to identify that it was Pete, but she doesn't have enough in terms of, you know, she saw dog tags, but she couldn't name any tattoos. She couldn't name really a whole lot of things. So that's kind of why. Allegedly. Exactly. These are allegations. These are not what actually, you know, we don't have any other proof other than what the police report shows. They investigated and they found no proof. I'm absolutely glad Matt was picked. The Democrats are scared of him. So again, no proof. We don't know. So Matt Gaetz has a whole host of issues. Matt Gaetz has, I believe, there was 2 separate investigations that were done outside of Congress. And then there was the House Ethics investigation. That report has not been released. And that was where a lot of the issues were stemming from, is that, like, hey, we need to release this. CNN then today found out potential other allegations and was going to reveal those allegations, but then Matt Gaetz ended up dropping out. The nurse didn't leak this, Talon. Oh, no, I don't know who leaked that report or if it was leaked at all. But what I do know is that the nurse was the one who reported that story to the police, because a nurse is a mandatory reporter, just like a daycare worker is a mandatory reporter, right? Or a church daycare worker is a mandatory reporter. There's certain people who have to report certain things like that. Kind of funny how all this happens. Republicans go against the swamp. You can, if you want to show me the dots on your little pin board about where these things lie, feel free to show me. I'm not someone who wants to sit there and really speculate as to that there's some kind of swamp when you could argue that Matt Gaetz is a big part of that swamp. So, all right, let's go ahead and watch Pete Hegseth. As a matter of fact, you can even say Mike Huckabee is part of that swamp. Right, what's a swamp? What's up, Kinsey? What's up, Kissing Gonzo? Let's go ahead and watch this.
I'll keep this very simple. The matter was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much.
So there you go. It was really quick and simple. He was just saying, hey, it was investigated and I was cleared, which I don't know. You can say cleared in the way of that, but yeah. Oh, guys, it's been a long day. What is this, Milley? General Milley, don't lecture me about women in combat. Oh, so this is another issue too, is that Pete Hegseth has come out saying that he doesn't want women in combat. And so General Milley, who's come out very much against Donald Trump, just did a thing here. It says, Milley, don't lecture me about women in combat. Women have been in combat, and it doesn't matter if that 762 hits you, 762 hits you in the chest. No one gives if it's a woman or a guy who's pulled the trigger. If you meet the standards, our military must be and always should be a standard-based, merit-based military, period, full stop. Doesn't matter if you are white, black, a man, a woman, a Catholic, Protestant. What matters are standards, readiness standards. Do you meet the standards or not? If yes, pass go, collect 200 and join the infantry. This is what makes a general and a leader. Okay. He's like, look, I don't care what you look like. Can you do the job? That is so strong by General Milley. Whereas right now we've got some like identity politics going on in the Trump administration. We're like, no women in military. It's like, okay, man. He goes against everything the lifelong politicians. That's the swamp. Lifelong politicians like Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee has like been doing politics since 2008. Pete Hegseth has been doing politics for the past decade. Again, it's just silly to me to sit here and talk about this. I mean, what other administration? I got some other administration up here. Here, let's look at the cabinet and see who's a lifelong politician. I think Doug Burgum has been a lifelong politician. Here's another one. I got my notes up here already. Oh, Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem's entire career has been in politics. She not part of the swamp? Let's see. Who else in here? Tom Homan, you could argue he's been in there for a while. RFK Jr. RFK Jr. has been in the swamp for a long time. People that have allowed, how do we know the investigation was on the, I don't know. You tell me, buddy. I'm going to be the honest. I don't think women should be in combat either. I'm interested in hearing your opinion on that, Miss Mandy. I feel like women can be in combat in certain roles. But again, if they're able to perform the job, I think there's this is a really interesting conversation actually. And I think one topic that doesn't get talked about enough, which is, you think I'm in the swamp, Glaze? Why do you think I'm in the swamp, buddy? Come on now. I don't think I'm in the swamp. As far as I know, I'm not in Louisiana, so I'm not in the swamp. But I think women in combat could be done. I think as long as you have the strength, you have the ability, you can do it. Now, obviously, there are certain biological things that can differentiate these two. I'm not opposed to saying that. So it can differ, right? You might have a woman who might be more in the back, right? Maybe someone who's like an artillery person or something like that. You might have somebody who's a combat medic. I don't know. Things of that nature, maybe. So I don't think we should just flat out get rid of them in the military. Combat role, I guess it depends on how you kind of define that, right? And women have been in the military for a little bit, even in some combat positions. They've, if I'm not mistaken. Can someone define the swamp for me? Exactly, Mark. What is the swamp? There you go, always. Female Russian sniper, 309. That's crazy. Gates, a double-edged sword. Swamp is having unelected bureaucrats run our country and unaccountable spending. Obviously, someone who's been in office forever, like McConnell. Okay, well, the problem is like if you're, and this is something I have an issue with too, is like the idea behind the swamp is that like people are just spending and spending and spending and spending and spending. Donald Trump is going to be one of the biggest spenders. He has been one of the biggest spenders. He spent more than Biden. You can look at what his policies by the Fiscal Responsibility Committee ended up saying. They thought that he would spend more over the next 10 years. AOC and what's his name that owns Twitter are dating, but they don't want to say anything about that, but it's right there in the open. No shot. Are you talking about Jack Dorsey? Talking about Jack Dorsey, I think is his name. Bro, this is old. Only one I could find here. Yeah, I don't see anything about on AOC and Jack Dorsey. Always thought you go to combat when politicians fail. Nah, that's not necessarily the case. World affairs kind of crazy. You can't necessarily bring everybody to the table. Elon, no shot. Hold on. 1 month ago. Hold on.
Have you seen that video go viral of a?
Let's take a look at this. Only because you got. I'm like this is. All right. Let's take a watch. Let's see. What is this flirting thing going on here?
AOC and Elon Musk flirting.
It's so good. We gotta play that.
Okay, so these are two completely different videos, but it's hilarious.
I apologize.
That was perfect.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
Oh my gosh.
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever made this, you're an absolute genius.
All right. Props are props due. That one is pretty damn hilarious. That one's pretty hilarious. Why did Trump ban trans people from the military? I don't know, but I can only imagine why. It's for the same reason that MTG and Nancy Mace have been going after Sarah McBride. Probably the same reason. Just a guess. She took her pronouns off of X. Did she really? Let me take a look. Also, a lot of people have been leaving X, matter of fact. A lot of people have been going to Blue Sky on the left, which, hey, totally down for it. Yeah, I don't see any pronouns. I don't know if she ever had them up there or not. Oof. Well, guys, look, it's getting later and later. I don't want to cut the stream short, but I've had a really long day and it's been insane. But here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow, I'm going to adjust my schedule. Please make sure you join the Discord. Please make sure you hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. And please make sure, guys, that you go through and you follow me, okay? Please. AOC is obviously looking to run in 4 years, possibly. We're going to pick up tomorrow. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, we are going to be streaming on TikTok live. We are going to be going till about 2 o'clock. Okay, we'll be picking up here on Twitch at 2 o'clock or 2:30-ish, around 2 to 2:30. And then we will move over to... we'll then be moving over to Twitch at 2:30. Okay, we'll be doing 2:30 to 5 o'clock. So it's basically 11 to 5. First half is TikTok. Second half is Twitch. Okay, I'm blowing up on TikTok, guys. Please follow me on TikTok. Okay, and if you're on YouTube, get me to 1,000 subscribers, please. I need 1,000 subscribers. I am desperately trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I am failing miserably. But we're getting there. Okay, we're gonna get there one day at a time. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow, 2:30.